So what do you like about Kevin in the slot? You know, the typical slot guy is, you know, that 5'10" guy. Obviously, Kevin is about the opposite of 5'10".
Yeah, well, to me, I think, we kind of talked a little bit about it as far as a big, tall, long guy, getting in the slot, and so sometimes you look and you say, okay, what can we do to get our guys and kind of mix them up? Yeah, I know Kevin is strong at the point of attack. He's a really great tackler. So people try to get the nickel in the run game now. That's why they do a bunch of fly motions, get the linebacker out, put a little bitty guy in. And so we're saying, well, if that's the case, then why not we put our bigger guy inside so he can make tackles? And Kevin's not afraid to make tackles. So to me, I think that was like a natural thing to do. And, matchup-wise, we're putting our guys in there. Stokes is outside, where Jai's outside. Now you got Kevin's inside. So they're looking like, okay, where are they going to be? Is this going to be Kevin outside? Is it going to be Jai inside? So we're kind of doing some things to kind of screw the offense too, because they're trying to do the same thing to us.
With Kevin, can you help maybe explain, he's, when he plays off coverage and he's giving up those 5 yards of cushion and teams are just taking that, why is it not as simple as just playing him up on the line of scrimmage? Why is that not an adjustment?
Well, I mean, now this is just my philosophy. A 5-yard gain is not going to win games in this league. I don't think offensive coordinators are patient enough to go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. They want chunks and they want big plays. And, my philosophy is make them earn it. You could be off, get up a 5-yarder, but you can see, ask any offensive coordinator, any offensive guy, are you satisfied with a 5-yard gain? And they'll tell you no. So my deal is sometimes you got to make them earn it, and that's just kind of the way I am. I don't like any balls going over my head, and so if you get up there and you press them, I know Kevin can do that. 5 yards is not going to kill us. And even on that play that happened in the game, it was an off-schedule play. He was up in the press. The guy came off, ran a slant. He was in great shape. Then all of a sudden, he scrambled. So now there's a lot of grass behind you when a guy scrambles. And, it ended up being a 40-something yard play. So off schedule, to me, I think, little bitty plays in front of me doesn't bother me.
Jerry, I think Eric, I think it was somewhere around 44 snaps he ended up playing for you there. Just how did you feel he handled that, and especially that 4th and short there? Just how big of a play was that for him to have the coverage that he did?
Well, to me, I think Eric is doing a good job right now. You look at him and you say, okay, Eric, we're going to start putting you in. If we move Kevin inside, you're going to be the starting corner outside. So all of a sudden now they're not throwing the Jai. Hopefully now you got a solid guy sitting inside, say, okay, we can't throw the ball inside anymore, so let's go and see if we can pick on a rookie. And I think Eric's doing a really good job. And then plus two, making plays helps confidence, especially when you're a rookie, you're going to get most of the balls thrown at you. So he's making his plays, and the 4th down play and then even the 4th down play at the end of the game, I thought he's doing a really good job of getting his head around, where most rookies, they'll be like panicking when the ball's in the air and you get a DPI. Well, he didn't get that. So he's letting me know he has some confidence and he has understanding that when the ball's in there, I got to get my head around and find it so I don't get the flag. So to me, that's going to warrant him more plays, kind of like I talked about earlier. You have to earn, to be on a good team. They're not going to give it to you. And then when you get out there, these quarterbacks say, okay, well, he's a rookie. Let me see if he can hold up.
Eric, I know you're not going to give away the game plan, but what's the key for the safeties in your group to try to prevent a guy like George Kittle from having a big night?
J. Mo's going to come up next. And really, if the quarterback got to throw it early, that helps me out a whole lot. Just being honest. To me, I think George Kittle is one of the top, tight ends in this league. And when you let him run and the quarterback have time, I mean, he's going to find some holes. So the biggest thing we got to do is we got to get up and challenge the guys, do a good job of making him try to release getting off the jam and stuff like that. Again, I think a lot of guys try to do that, but you can still see that, he's making plays and he's going to work. He's going to block. He does a good job of that. So our job is to make sure we make his job hard, trying to get off the jam, trying to get out of cuts, stuff like that, and hopefully buy enough time for J-Mo guys to get there.
Hey, Jerry, your point about, they don't throw at Jair is sort of like taking away a third of the field, correct? I mean, like they used to say Deion Sanders would take a third of the field.
Well, I hope Jack can get like that.
Yeah. But how do you weigh that with, you put him in the slot, and he takes away whatever's there. Plus, he's close to the line of scrimmage. He seems like a guy who could be, you know, a blitzer, play the run, stuff like that. How do you weigh the two?
Well, I mean, like last week, I think he had maybe 2 or 3 snaps inside. And I think Joe's just trying to fill it out, you know, to see what guys can actually do, what can they do best. And you know, this is really his 3rd week of actually having football players play games. So he's seen us in practice, but I think the biggest thing is that he's trying to figure out, okay, what guy can I count on to go blitz? Like even Kevin, you know, he got a blitz last week, he hit the quarterback. So we know we have some guys that can do that at the defensive back position. Now give him a chance to go do it. So I think he's kind of filling out guys. And I think Jai can pretty much do just about everything right now. And it's our job to put him in a position to where he get a chance to get into the action. Because if you're outside and they're not throwing the ball at you, now you get kind of bored and stuff like that. So I'm always telling him, hey, look, you can't get bored because somebody's going to try you now. So you have to already be ready. And when we put him inside, I think that kind of gives him another thing. Okay, well, you put him in position to go make some plays, but they still don't throw at him. I think they had one ball, you know, try to run a wheel route last week, and he knocked the ball down. So, you know what I mean? You're glad you got a guy on the team like that. And the bad part is that you try to find ways to get him plays.
Kevin has played at a pretty high level for a long time, maybe a higher level than he's given credit for sometimes outside the building. He obviously struggled in the NFC Championship game. He's struggled these first 2 games. Where's his game and maybe where's his confidence at?
Well, I mean, I think Kevin's confidence is high. You know, the big thing is that he's got to keep making some plays. Like the ball went down the sideline, you know, towards the end zone. He made the play on that. So I think the more plays you make in DBs, the more your confidence grows, you know, and the less plays you make, the less your confidence grows, especially when you think that they're picking on you. So I always talk to him about, you know, being in a position to make the plays. And he asked me about, well, what else could have done on the double, we're really not a double cut, but off schedule play. And the big thing I tell him is don't look back. Especially when the receiver's running, you got to run to the hip and then look back. So little things like that I think he's going to be fine. You know, just keep putting him in position to make his plays. And then he has to know what plays can I make and what plays can I not take chances on. And I think he's going to be fine.
What have you seen from Deebo Samuel, who has like almost all their catches and stuff as far as the receivers go?
Well, I mean, they got a great group of receivers. You know, when you look at all those guys, you see the quarterback, he's going to throw the ball all of them. I know Deebo gets more of the attention, but if you don't look at the other guys like Kittle, like 11, who I think is an excellent receiver that they drafted a couple of years ago, guys can take the top off the defense. Then you put in, you know, a couple of other guys, and he's like, okay, well, these guys got 4 or 5 guys that they throw the ball to. Now, Deebo is, again, the most dynamic because they hand the ball off to him. They do reverses. They do handoffs. You know, they do all type of stuff with him. But you can't just say, hey, we're going to take away Deebo and the other guys blow you up. So I think our job is to go out there and just, you know, play one and play at a time, you know, and make sure that we're doing our job the way we're supposed to be doing it.
Jerry, on the play that Hawkinson scored the touchdown and Stokes is in, I think you're in quarters?
Yeah, a similar quarters.
Yeah, I mean, is that like a common rookie mistake where he just saw something that drew him, you know, off of it, or is that a learning?
No, I mean, you know, the play that like I talked to him about, I said, you know, when you're playing quarters, the biggest thing is like he's more man-type concept. And so he's seen his guy come up and kind of sit down. And instead of putting his eyes on the number 2 guy, he kind of watched this guy. And at the end, again, you know, trying to fall off and help on that play, like I told him, I said, when you're in quarters, you should intercept that play. And I want you to understand why you should intercept it. So now transfer your eyes and don't always use your ability. Because young guys that come in that's really fast, that's all they use. So I'm trying to get him to understand you could be a less athletic guy and make the same play just by doing it with your eyes. So again, it takes some time for young guys to say, well, I run a 4.2 and I should be able to make that play. So you can run a 4.5 and make it if you use it in your brain. And see that, okay, when this guy chops, there's somebody else is coming to you, so fall off and intercept and they won't throw that play anymore. So there's little things that we're constantly working on, especially when you're a rookie because you hadn't seen anything. You don't really know what these guys are trying to scheme you to do. They're not going to run a go route every time because they know you're fast. So how do we beat you? We give you stuff that you haven't never seen, and then that's how they beat young guys.
Right.
Two more.
correct me if I'm wrong, but in your defensive coordinator gigs, you had Greg Williams as the head coach and then Malarkey in Buffalo, right? And then, was it Munchak?
Mike Munchak.
Okay, so two of those guys are offensive guys. I mean, one was an offensive lineman, but you know what I mean. So
Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
yeah, no doubt about it. I'm wondering how you see Matt's involvement with you guys on the defensive side, because he's obviously an offensive guy, but he's responsible for the whole kit and caboodle. How does he interact with you guys, and how's the autonomy versus him kind of chiming in?
Well, to me, I think when you're the head coach of the whole team. You know, it's like you're the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. So, and everybody else is under you. So your job is to say, what does the head coach want? How does he feel about it? And, you know, the good thing is that Matt can come in there and say, hey, you know, I see this route or something like this, and this is what they're trying to do to you. So how do you guys going to beat that? You know, compared to a defensive guy, he sees through your eyes and say, well, you know, they're running this route. They're really not, you know, trying to scout you. So to me, I think Matt gives us another perspective of what other teams are trying to do to you, and now you can really kind of combat that. I think that's the best thing. But really, I think when you're the head coach, you got the right to do whatever you want to do.
Does he come see you guys a lot, or is he mostly hands-on?
No. I mean, like I said, Matt and I talk a lot. You know, hey, Jerry, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, he may ask me something about what a receiver's trying to do or what they're trying to do on defense. But like I said, to me, anytime a head coach walks in your office, he has the right to say what he wants to say and do what he wants to do.